Okay guys, so we're back again already. I did say I'd do a part 2 to the allegation video about Zillakami if more information came out, but during the time that I was editing that video, more information came out on the girl's story where basically she was able to find the DMs between her and Zillakami. Now he did delete a lot of messages according to her, so we don't have the full context, but she was able to find some pretty damning stuff there. But before I get into that, I do want to talk about Zillakami's story post because apparently he said a little bit more than I thought initially, so I'm going to read that out right here. Zillakami says, dealing with severe depression during and after the last tour ended me up in a clinic where I was told by doctors I needed time to focus on myself, something I've always put to the side while trying to make sure everyone around me was good, which had me mentally at my lowest. Dealing with the person that was around me, using me while knowing I was not able to comprehend their ulterior motives, they took advantage of me being blind to what they tried to sell to me as love, but it was only love until they no longer had access to me or the things that I could provide for them, trying to isolate me from my loved ones and friends while also trying to sedate me by introducing me to harmful substances. This was to alter my state of mind and keep me in the dark from the real nature. Now I have to say, after reading this, I feel like Zillakami really should have stuck to the initial response, because saying all of this definitely paints him out to be the victim, which is weird if the girl actually is underage. It's never a good idea to try to paint yourself out to be the victim when you have allegations coming out against you. It comes off as very manipulative, and even if you are in the right, it basically makes it seem like they're trying to play the victim to get out of things. So I feel like he should have just kept it moving, lawyered up, let people talk for a little bit, and if he actually is innocent, the more information would come out to save him in the situation. But if he's not, talking like this is definitely not the best move. Anyways, getting back to the accuser, she said messages were found. Scrolled through 4 years of DMs to locate the DMs. He blocked me after we last talked and deleted a lot of his messages. Y'all want the proof so bad, this proves my point. Nobody believes victims unless there's tangible proof. There will always be victims who don't have hard evidence. Y'all want to hold on to your favorite rapper so bad it's hilarious. You forced my hand, so I dealt it. Now I definitely get what she's trying to say, and she's probably very frustrated with all the hate that she's getting from Zillakami fans, but at the same time you definitely do need hard evidence, because if not, basically anybody can be accused. Everybody wants to believe victims, but unfortunately with people lying in other circumstances, it's hard to believe them 100% of the time, and it definitely leads to a very slippery slope. But since she actually has evidence in the DMs, that's a very good thing, and I'm glad she was able to find that. So this all begins February 3rd, 2020. He sent the first message, but that's gone now. He deleted a lot of his messages to make it look like I was talking to myself, and then we have a couple gifts between the two of them, which doesn't prove anything yet, but let's continue. She then says, I want to say you're my favorite artist and I love your music so much. Thank you, you two. Yes, promise. How? Basically he's deleting messages here, so the conversation doesn't make that much sense. We then get the most damning screenshot where he says, how old are you? She says, I'm 17 bro, I'm turning 18 next month. Now keep in mind right now Zillakami is 24 years old, so in 2020 he would have been 20 years old, meaning there's only about a 2 to 3 year age gap, which is a little creepy, a little weird, but overall I feel like it's not as big as somebody dating a 15-year-old when they're like 24, but I'm not trying to downplay it, just saying that it's weird but not really illegal. He then sends a message saying 1 month with a cowboy hat emoji, which I think is supposed to be implying that he's excited that she's going to turn 18. Now keep in mind, with all the context that we have, it definitely looks creepy, but at the same time he might have been saying something pretty quaint. With all the messages being deleted, that definitely takes away some of the context of what might have been being said, and it's not difficult to take messages that are out of context and then spin them into your own narrative. Now I'm really not trying to defend him, I'm just saying when we're talking about allegations this seriously, we have to cover every aspect of it, because if we're going to destroy a man's life over this, we got to make sure that he's actually guilty of what people are accusing him of. He then says, you go to school anyways, that's something lol. She says, anytime, but it won't be like last time. I have a boyfriend, thank you. Do you still do shrooms? Yeah I do, not OD'd, but I laugh and giggle. What's Doro? It's an anime that's creepy as supposed to be weird. Oh, let's do it. I then also have a screenshot from 2021 where somebody's wishing her a happy 17th birthday, so that means that she was maybe lying about her age at the time, which is definitely a pretty big deal, because if we're talking about somebody that's about to be 18 versus somebody that was 16 at the time, that makes a big difference. But if she did lie about her age, I guess Zillakami is the adult in the situation and probably should be checking IDs, but at the same time, when you're in that sort of mindset, you're probably not thinking about that sort of stuff, so it's very complex. There's a lot of different angles that are getting added onto this conversation, and at this point we're basically just waiting around to see if any more victims come forward to talk about him more, or if these are the only ones that are going to come forward. But I feel like if he's been doing this with a lot of different people, we're going to see a lot more come out in the following days, or possibly even the following hours. But all I gotta say, if this is actually true, it's genuinely earth-shattering, because remember what happened with 6ix9ine and Zilla, how hard he went on 6ix9ine for doing that type of stuff, and now he's possibly caught doing the exact same thing. But like I said, I'm still not going to make a concrete great decision, because in these messages we don't see anything sexual going on. There's no conversation between them. Zillakami definitely could have deleted that, and it definitely seems like if they were in a relationship, it was very toxic. And I do feel bad for this girl either way, because she never wanted these screenshots to come out, but somebody ended up sharing them for her, and now she's basically having to defend her point when she never wanted to do this in the first place. So if she suffered from any trauma from Zillakami, she's now having to relive it, not to mention all the Zillakami fans that are probably coming after her and attacking her. All I'm trying to say is right now, try to stay neutral, don't get involved in it, watch and see what happens, and don't attack the girl for trying to tell her story. I know it sometimes feels like you have to defend your favorite artist when something bad comes out against them, but at the same time, this is a very private thing that was brought into a very public space, so don't put any more stress onto that girl and just stay impartial. You can talk about it, but don't come after her. That's all I'm trying to say. But for now, I'm going to close out the video. Make sure to let me know if there's anything else that comes out. I'm definitely going to keep looking into it, and I feel like this story is going to continue. But one thing I want everybody to keep in mind is like, just because one artist makes an allegation about another artist and then it happens to come true doesn't mean that other artist is innocent in the first place. If they both have allegations, they can both be true, and I don't want people to take sides or try to treat it in that type of way like they did with King and Rare. This is a completely different situation, and if Zilla's innocent, he's innocent. If he's guilty, he's guilty, but that doesn't make anybody else accusing him any less guilty. That's all I gotta say, and that's the last time I'll be speaking on that person. Goodbye.